I would like to call for my first witness, the mayor of the great city of St. Louis, Mayor Francis Lay.
All right, can we go ahead? Good afternoon. Honorable members of the committee, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be here this morning. I'm submitting a written statement along with the form that I filled out here, but I appreciate the opportunity. I'm here this afternoon to express my strong support for House Bill 2117, which would allow the people of St. Louis to have their own police department for the first time since the Civil War. As we all know too well, St. Louis does not have its own police department because of the intense politics of the Civil War. Nearly 150 years ago, the state of Missouri took control of the police department away from the people of St. Louis because they were afraid that the police department would be used against them during the Civil War. Unfortunately, the state never got around to returning the department to the city. St. Louis and Kansas City are the only cities or counties in the state of Missouri without their own police department. There is no rational explanation for the fact that every other county and municipality in the state that has a police department has its own police department, while St. Louis does not. St. Louis taxpayers pay the bills. The police department belongs to them. They have a right to control their own destiny when it comes to keeping their neighborhoods safe. They have a right to operate the police department in the best way possible to meet their own needs. Right now, the governor has 4 representatives on the police board, while the people who pay the bills have only 1. Chief Moko and I have worked very well together during his and my administration. As a result, crime has gone down dramatically, thanks to the hard work as well to the men and women of the department. But under the current structure, future mayors and future chiefs could return to historic patterns of bickering, which is not good for operations, not good for management, and not good for the people of St. Louis. I do want to make one thing clear. While I strongly support returning control of the St. Louis Police Department to the people of St. Louis, I do not support any change to the governance of the police pension system. This is not about me. It's not about one mayor or one police board. It is about the people of St. Louis having a voice in the governance of their department. For better accountability, for more responsive government, and to ensure the effectiveness of the department long into the future, it is time for the state of Missouri to return the St. Louis Police Department to the people of St. Louis. Thank you for everything you all do to improve the quality of life in the city of St. Louis and the state of Missouri, and I want to thank Representative Alameen for taking a leadership role, and I'm really pleased to be joined with so many representatives of the city of St. Louis, Board of Aldermen, President Reed, and others that are here to support this as well. Thank you for the opportunity.
Any questions for the mayor? Representative Shaney.
To inquire, Mr. Chairman.
Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You brought up the pension fund. How is that currently administered? Who oversees it?
It's funded. It's administered by. There is a board of trustees, and there are appointments. Some mayoral appointments. Some appointments are representative employees. But it is set up as an independent board of trustees. And again, that's something that that I'm not here to try to change.
And there's no gubernatorial appointments or state appointments. I'm sure that's regulated within state laws, within limits.
Yes, it's within the state law, and
there's no state direct intervention into that. Pension.
I'm not aware of anything. I guess somebody else could probably tell you better than I on that one.
And you did a great job of answering the question about when the circumstances under which, I did not know that, under which the St. Louis City Police Force came under state control. To the extent you know the history of this, has that composition of that board always been the same, 5 to 1?
It's 4 to 1.
I'm sorry, 4 to 1. And currently, to your knowledge, do any state funds used in the operation of the St. Louis City Police Department?
I will tell you that there may be some grant funding from the state, but the bulk of the department's budget comes from our operating budget. The St. Louis Police Department comprises about 1/3 of our operating budget, which is our operating budget is over $400 million. So about 1/3 of our operating budget goes to the police department. That's our largest department in the city of St. Louis, and takes the bulk of the budget. And that, we also pay for, pension, we pay capital. There's also a capital fund that helps support the capital needs of the department as well, that comes from the city of St. Louis.
And another question, but to clarify that question, first of all, other police departments in the state of Missouri would also receive state grants. So I would think St. Louis County Police Department.
I can tell you that I don't know how that all works at the state level and what departments receive state grants. I will tell you that that the vast majority of the police budget, which I don't have in front of me, comes from the city of St. Louis. There are very little funds that this department has outside. There are some grant funding. They get federal grants. I'm assuming there may be some state grants. I do know there are federal grants, but the bulk of this department's operations is from the city of St. Louis.
Okay, and my final question is, I have not heard any public comment from the governor's office on this issue. They're the ones, it sounds like, that makes the appointments currently, and I don't know if they care, they're in favor, against, or maybe just don't even. Have you heard, is there any statement from our sitting governor on this effort?
I did talk to the governor about it, and he did not express to me his position on it most recently. He did not express his
Mayor of St.
position.
Louis for some time, when there's been Democrat administrations in the executive branch of state government. Was there ever support for this effort from different parties? I'm just trying to say, why in the world has this not been changed for?
That is a good
150
question. That's why we're here. As I said, my biggest, I think my biggest argument is that there's really no rational explanation for why the city of St. Louis and Kansas City are treated differently than any other county or city in the state of Missouri. And, frankly, I don't know that there are very many cities nationwide that has a similar situation.
At least in Kansas City's case, you could make the case that there was a corruption issue at some point. It was a long, long time ago, and you could make it. But in St. Louis, you can't even make that case.
Well,
it doesn't sound like
we're here
some of the
today.
history that's been presented.
We're here today, and whatever corruption issues were in the past, I don't hear anyone suggesting there's anything of the kind here today. But as we do have, as I said, there's cities and counties all over the state that have their own department all over this country, and so we're just asking to be treated like everybody else in this regard.
Fair enough. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.